Okay, so today, right, basically, I think all of us here, we are prospecting. Okay, so on the left, you actually have prospecting methods that are digital. So there are many, right, from YouTube, LinkedIn, Meta, email marketing to property guru. Today, we'll focus a little bit more about Facebook marketing. Okay, but whatever that we are doing is a complement. So the traditional marketing that I think many of us are taught in ILD is good, and let's continue to do them. But you can see Facebook marketing as a complement to the prospecting methods that you already are doing. So when it comes to meta marketing, I believe you are interested in it because the potential is very high in terms of the number of leads that you are able to get. Okay, but I want to caveat this before you start, right? That don't do Facebook marketing unless you understand this funnel and you are okay with the numbers at this funnel. Okay, how many of you have seen something like this before? I think most of you have explored a little bit, okay? So this is basically a leads funnel. So all of us, whether you do flyers, mailers and all, there is a leads funnel. Okay, the good thing about meta marketing is your top of your funnel, which is where you get the leads, is very wide. So you can get a lot of leads for the same amount that you throw flyers for 1 month. Let's say you throw one estate $1,000. For meta marketing, you can get maybe even 10 times the number of leads that you can get if you throw flyers or mailers, because the cost of acquiring a lead, right, the customer acquisition cost is much lower for meta. Okay, so top here is very high. But what is the challenge? Which is that as they drop into the sales funnel, you will notice that your drop-off rate will be very high. Because if it is very easy for the lead to click into your Facebook ad, it is also very easy for them to click out. It is also very easy for them to click into another agent's Facebook ad. Okay, so at the end of the day, right, you will notice that if at the top you have 1,000 leads, how many do you think you're going to close at the end of it? Okay, here I put 10%. I think based on my own experience, it's about 2 to 4% at the end of the day. Some of them are still kind of in the middle and you continue to follow up with them, they will eventually come out here. But in general, this is kind of the statistics that I have found for myself. Okay, so the question is, if we don't even have 1,000 leads at the top, right, how many are we going to end up with at the bottom? It won't be very high. Okay, so again, to caveat for meta marketing, the benefits of it is that cost per lead is very low compared to traditional marketing, but you need to be in it for the long haul. If analogy I will use is, you need to boil this part of the funnel for a very long time of follow-up before they can come out later here as a lead. Which is why the part that Donovan shared is important, and also the part that Edmund will share later is very important. You need to keep following up with them. Otherwise, the thing is that you have one big hole in the middle. Your lead comes in, you pay a lot of money to Meta, it comes in the middle they drop off, and they will go to maybe my lead funnel or somebody else's lead funnel. Okay, so don't do it unless you're in for the long haul. You can do it for, I would say, 6 months, 9 months. Okay, later I will share with you my own experience, how long it took for me lah. Okay, so this diagram is not created by me. I took it on Google, but I thought it was a very good way to express this. So typically, if you talk about meta marketing, the big strength is that your top of funnel is very high. Because why? A lot of us, when you are on the go, when you're chilling, you open up Instagram, you open up Facebook, you will scroll. And if there's something that we call a scroll stopper, it's going to stop you, right? It's going to be something quite exciting. Maybe it's a 99 sale. Then they just say, hey, fill up this form. And then when you click on it, the best thing is Meta already pre-filled the form. I don't know if you all have experienced that before. They pre-fill the form already. They put your name, your number, your email, just press yes, okay? And then you'll get something. So that is how easy it is for you to get a lead, okay? So that could be social media, or if you want to do, you can do paid ads, okay? The second part that is very key when it comes to meta marketing is this thing is which you need to capture interest from the traffic that is running. And for me, which is what I share with you guys, is we do it via a lead form. So if you have clicked into a Facebook ad before, they will ask you the 3 most important questions. What's your name? What's your email? What's your mobile number? Okay? Sometimes if you go and dig into other people's funnels, you will notice that they will put in even more information. They will ask in, do you own a HDB, private property, or first property? They will ask you roughly what is your combined income range. I don't know if you've all seen those before. If you go on Facebook next time, or you go and search, right, you can go and do this interesting thing which I heard is called funnel hacking. So you go into other people's funnels, you go and reverse and see what they are doing. What are the questions that they ask? So that time, I think Michael, a few of us went to study other people who have done it. Not saying they're the best, but it's good to learn what they do. You can go and see what PLB does. Not that kind of things, but the funnel part. you can go and see a lot of other people who do digital, your Metla, Marcus, all that. Go and see what they do. Yeah, don't need to replicate, but at least understand how they do it. Okay, the questions that they ask. Another thing that I think I'm also planning to do more, which y'all can consider, is to do landing pages. Okay, so landing pages is when y'all do Google PPC, y'all click on it, they will bring you into a page that looks like it's from the developer, but it's not. And then they'll ask you to fill in information. It looks very legit, has the floor plans and all that. This is very good landing pages because it helps you to filter out leads who are not high intent, okay? Because if they are not high intent, they won't even fill up, they'll jump out. So it helps you to save, okay? Then after you get in through the interest stage, that's where you go into consideration. So this is the part where later Edmund will talk about follow-up. Okay, consideration stage is like when you are buying your own house. You will go for many show flats, you will go and see many resale listings, but eventually you will take quite a lot of time to go and consider. You go and talk to your parents, talk to people, analyze the development, watch tech homes and all that until you make a decision. So this part is very critical to follow and to hold your client very tightly because they are very hot here already. If they don't go with you and they meet another agent who was lucky enough to meet them here while you did most of the front end work, I have gone before, the agent will KS you. They will just take the client from here when they are hot and ready to buy, and all your in front work was kind of wasted. Yeah, okay? Then of course the last part, which is the conversion. Of course the appointment here, it happens at every stage, right? Later I will show you the flow. It can be a Zoom, it can be a face-to-face, okay? So I wanted to share this part. I heard this from another digital marketer, but I thought it's a very, very good mental model for us to understand. So, okay, if you imagine, right, this entire triangle is the universe of clients or leads that you can have, okay? So every lead that you can have exists in some part of the triangle, okay? And of course, you see these numbers, you know that I'm going to do a hierarchy of leads, okay? So, why we talk about red ocean versus blue ocean is that when, I think most of y'all do here, y'all do traditional marketing, right? Correct, right? Most of y'all have done, right? Okay, so the very good thing about traditional marketing is, okay, when you meet a lead who call you from your flyers, okay, I'll just share with you, okay? When you meet a lead that call you from the flyers, they are kind of the top 3% already. So they are very ready, they are hot leads. They already have the strong intention to sell. They already know that, hey, maybe I shouldn't hold on to my HDB because prices are all-time high, okay? And they are ready to take action, okay? This is usually your traditional marketing leads. So traditional marketing is very strong because the fact that they have to see your flyer, CSIU on social media, decide to pick up the phone and call you and kind of basically ask you down for an interview means that they are very serious. Okay, this over here. Where Facebook marketing can help all of us is to expand this pool. Okay, because why? Is it competitive at this, if you are fighting over this red ocean here, this 3%? It's very competitive because most sellers, they don't just receive your flyers, they receive many other agents' flyers. So this is a very competitive field because everyone there is waiting to strike. And also this is the field where sometimes, in a way, I don't know if y'all feel it, but sometimes the sellers, they might not give you the kind of respect that you deserve because they don't need advice, they just need someone to get it done. They don't need advice what I should sell, when I should sell, what should I buy. They just say, just sell it, right? And that is where, of course, in terms of our positioning as an advisor, it's not as strong because you just become an order taker, and the worst thing is they ask you to basically pay you lower comms. Yeah, okay? So that's why we want to avoid, not say avoid, we want to expand this pool, okay? So the next stage, right, after your top 3% of ready and hot leads will be your 17% which are warm and they are at the analysis stage. Okay, I don't know if you all have had clients at this stage. So they are warm, right, meaning to say what? They already know there's an issue, right? They are already thinking of what they want to buy. They are also at the stage where they are watching Eric Chew on YouTube. They are looking at a lot of agent stuff. They are clicking on the fake agents' websites. They are in the stage where they are analyzing, should I buy this new launch or not? Is it a good new launch or not? Okay, this will also be a pretty hot kind of segment you want to go after, and that is where new launch analysis, for example, like what Donovan did, is very important because this is how you differentiate yourself. Okay, now the bottom two, I'll start from the last one. 60% of the leads you will get, from my experience also, they are just browsing. So when you text them, when you call them and all that, right, a lot of times they will MIA you. Yeah, I think all those who run before y'all know, right? Or sometimes they will scold you some vulgarities, okay? Because they are just 60%, they are just browsing. The top layer, 20% problem aware, is kind of in between. So they kind of know of things like buying new launch for capital gains. They kind of know things like upgrading from HDB to condo, but they are not super serious yet, okay? So the purpose of why I share this with you is so that if and I hope y'all do start on digital marketing, at least you all begin with the expectation that you're going to get a lot of lousy leads. I don't know how else to put it. You're going to get a lot of low quality leads, but remember, it's a numbers game. Out of the 100, you will have 3 that are ready to strike. You will have 17 that are not bad, you can follow up their rest, that reply to you. The other 20 and 60%, which is 4 out of 5 leads, are going to be not very good quality. Okay, so just be prepared when you all start that it is going to be a long game, which is why follow-up is very important for digital, because they are not hot. You need to slowly cook them. Okay, I just wanted to share a little bit of my personal journey. Okay, so that at least, how do I say? Maybe it helps you all to also relate, because I think some of you are along this journey as well. I'm by no means the finished product, but I just thought hopefully sharing this helps you guys to shortcut the learning, and you will also learn what are the challenges you will face at different stages. Okay, so when I first started, I think it was about March 2024. I was a very new part-time agent with Michael, and on top of my traditional flyers, I also reached out to a digital marketing vendor. This guy, he's not bad, he works with a lot of Propnex agents. So it was very good, because at that stage I was, how do I say, I was brand new to marketing, I was brand new to real estate, and I was thinking, what are the other avenues besides traditional marketing? Because I think for some of us who have worked in corporate before, maybe you have experience working in digital vendors. I had a bit lah, so I was like, hey, how do we do this in real estate? Okay. So the pros of it was that was the first time I was exposed to meta marketing, and that was the first time I was exposed to the whole digital marketing flow. Because for digital marketing, it is very different from the time where you meet an LP with a flyer lead who already wants to sell, and they just need to know what is the valuation, do the financial calculation, share with them your marketing strategy, and you're good to go. With digital marketing, you will get all sorts of leads who might not be so ready yet, so you need something to engage them with. Okay, the challenge that I faced at that point in time was that my cost per lead was very high. So I believe my cost per lead was maybe about $50 to $60. Okay, so 1,000. Let's say if you all throw flyers in one district, it's about 1,000. Maybe you get about 20 lead, okay, which wasn't super high. Then the challenge was also, I didn't know how to engage the lead. After the lead replied to me, I didn't know what to say, I didn't know how to bring them out to an appointment, and after that, it just feels very dead. It's like the combo with the lead just died, and you don't know how to resuscitate it, okay? So that was that. But thankfully, I think end of 2024, BLD, Ben and Langsing had a training for us to talk about how we can run Facebook ads. Okay, that was slightly different. That was very new launch specific. So we were talking about how do we launch new launch specific ads, like maybe for example Tengah Gardens that's upcoming, okay? And they also shared with us a framework, AAR framework of how you can qualify leads. Okay, so I'm very thankful for Ben and Lisa for that. Okay, so the challenge about having new launch specific ones, the good thing is that there is a lot of hype being done for you, right? Because if they see, hey, you know, you're going to talk about Villa Bay, you're going to talk about a new launch Pinery or something that's coming up, Tengah Gardens that's coming up, it's going to be very exciting, and the developer in a way also help you to create the crowd, because they're going to run their very macro level ads, right? So that's good because you're going to get traffic, but the challenge is the leads treated me, in this case, like an info counter. So they'll ask, hey Dominic, you got a 4-bedroom floor plan, can send me. What is the launch PSF? Is it 1 km to this school? Which at that point in time, because you haven't got COH approval, you cannot, or rather you should not go out there and advise them, because it's not guaranteed. Of course, caveat is, I know a lot of other agents who might not be so, and they will just anyhow throw off. Then later they change back and say, oh sorry, we got updated info. So I mean, I believe that's not how we want to do it, right? And the challenge I face is also, it's very hard to keep the leads warm, because sometimes the run time from when you start your campaign until when the new launch launches is maybe 6 months or even 9 months away. And if you don't have ammo to hold them, they see no point in talking to you. Yeah, and then in a sense it's a wasted lead lah. Okay, so of course later on in 2025, that's where I invested in a marketing vendor, another marketing vendor to learn. I highly recommend these 2 books. These are the 2 books that he recommended me, and I went to buy them. If you all are the kind who like to read books, yeah, you all can take photo and go and read. Okay, these books are very good because they are written by this guy called Dan Kennedy, who is a very famous direct response copywriter. So in the US, you know, they mail shopping catalogs to the mail, and then there will be a nice article of what you should buy, like maybe their winter collection. This guy writes those copy, and he's very good at it. Okay, so copywriting, whether it's for your Facebook ads, whether it's for your mailers, your flyers, is very good to learn. So I advise you all to go and read if you like. Okay, then after I invested in him and he helped me to run the campaigns and all, it was good. I had good cost per lead, I had good traffic, and I was very thankful that I had first closing from my new launch ads. This one wasn't from him, it was from the BLD ads that I ran earlier. I ran for Lakeside Drive, so they were interested in the Jurong area, but after I did the consultation and the AI, I realized that they already have multiple properties, so they cannot buy for the kids. And then the buyer asked, how about buying under trust? So of course, I did a bit of research and advised that, and I worked with the tagger to say, hey, actually, why not you all buy commercial property instead, because there's no EBSD. And just nice, I went to this training so I shared it with them and they managed to close. So that was good. Okay, but the con was that I also didn't know how to advise them. I didn't have a proper framework of how to pitch to the clients when you call them up for a Zoom appointment, which is why in May I went for this asset progression mastery by Jasmine Chan. This is she's also from PG. She's from Zack Huang's side. A lot of the things that we learn about asset progression, actually we already know. It's just that she pieced it together in a way that I could understand at a deeper level. So I'm not saying you all need to go, but if you all would like a nicely packaged asset progression, she's pretty good. Okay. Then of course, in terms of journey, these are Michael and I went for a AI digital learning trip in September. Okay. Then after that, I managed to close a few new launches. A lot of them with Donovan, which is why he probably invited me for this sharing. Most of them were from digital leads. So this one, Lake Gardens, they actually stay at Lakeshore. So it's quite a nice story because I advised them over Zoom. Then we brought them out to the show flat. He was one of the, do you remember the second bar, the 17%? He was warm, he was analyzing, but he wasn't ready. And the reason he wasn't ready is because his asset progression very complex. He owns Lakeshore, 3-bedroom. His parents-in-law rented out their house. When we did the calculation, actually not enough funds. Cannot buy. He wanted to buy a 5-bedroom. Cannot buy. So he is not the 3% because he cannot take action. He was stuck. And I don't know whether it's a good fortune that I went for the asset progression. So I helped him to calculate how we need to liquidate his current assets, combine together, and then you can go forward with his 5-bedroom Lake Gardens. So thankfully, we don't manage to do that. So that's how we close that. Okay, I'm going to share so much about the rest. That's not so important. So I wanted to just share a little bit about the buyer mindset on Facebook, which is something that I believe you all will face as you all start to run ads. Okay, so today I'm not really going to share with you all angles to pitch because that is very personalized based on what's your strength and based on what kind of clients is your ICP, your ideal client profile. Okay, so that one we'll be doing in this setting. But I just want to share with you all this thing which I thought was very useful, which is you all need to understand the buyer's mindset when they are scrolling on Facebook. Okay, because that is where you are marketing. Okay, so when you and I are scrolling on Facebook, when we see an ad, is the trust level high or low? It used to be high, but now I think with a lot of scams, trust level has gone down, right? So if imagine with me, now we step out of the agent hat. Imagine you are the consumer hat. You are in your sofa or you're on a toilet bowl and you're scrolling Facebook, okay? And you see an ad, right? And it sounds too good to be true. Your trust is low. What is the first thing you will do? Okay, but you're quite interested in it. You're quite interested. You're just like not sure whether we or not. Okay, come. How will you all respond typically? Correct. Exactly. Michael said exactly right. So you will click into what? You won't click into the ad. You will click into the account that posts the ad, right? Okay. You click into the account that posts it, and then you will see what? How many followers? How many likes? How many posts have they done? Right? Because if it's a new account setup, right, and they just set up maybe 1 week ago, no matter how strong or how good the copywriting is, will the trust be high or low? It will be low because you think he's a fly-by-night, okay? Which is why, again, caveat, I believe many of y'all, when y'all start your marketing, you will think, should I launch it as a new launch ad? Example, should I put, or maybe Bayshore, right? You talk about you are the latest Bayshore JLS, right? Have y'all seen those kind of ad accounts? Bayshore new launch JLS, or the best one, SG new launch something, okay? I believe it might have worked in a certain era where people trusted Facebook accounts a lot, but in today's day and age, when you see that it is very faceless, and unless the account has existed for a long period of time with a lot of track record, the trust level is very low. So high chance you will score off. So my advice to y'all is to just use your name. Yeah, I know it can seem awkward and stuff, but my advice, which is what I've experienced, is that your brand equity compounds over time. Maybe when you first start, I put myself down, make sure they're like, who's that guy? I have no track record, no awards, nothing at all. But imagine 10 years later, 5 years later, when you have built up that body of work, your brand equity will be very, very strong. Okay, so I believe it's good to think of a long-term game, how you want to brand yourself and start doing it from day one. Okay, so I covered these two, just browsing, low interested. No agent differentiation. Okay, so again, this is the part that we won't go through today, but it's also good for you all to think about what is your USP. Okay, it can either be you in a sense that, okay, have you all seen this guy? He's from PropNext, he's called the Investor Realtor. Okay, his real name is Ian Teo lah, but if you go and see his, you can go and search later. You go and see his account, he called it the Investor Realtor. So he brands himself as, I'm not just an agent, I'm also an investor, I'm a realtor as well. That is his branding, and he has been doing quite well on his digital marketing as well. So as you begin, it's also good to think about what is your USP, how do you want to brand yourself that is unique. It could be leveraging on your previous corporate experience to build it into something, or maybe it could even be a framework or strategy that is unique to you. So that's over here, okay? Now, so how to combat this? Again, I share with you all, low trust in ads, that is where your social proof is very important, okay? So again, linking your personal accounts to, your professional accounts to your personal accounts help a lot. I know this part, a lot of people struggle with it. I don't know, do you all struggle with it? Like, do you all post on your personal account? Do you all link your professional and personal accounts together? I don't know. How many of you all do that? Like, you all post about work on your personal account, or you're separate? Okay, just show a hand. How many of you all separate your work and personal accounts? Yeah, so most of you all combine, or the rest don't post at all. Okay, I mean, I think when I started, I think I was asking Michael also. I think there's no right, no wrong, but personally, I feel if you run professional account and you link it to your personal, it helps because they get to see you in your non-agent life, which sometimes helps to build rapport because they see you are just like them, which actually all of us are just like them. Okay, then again, personalization is what I share about. Then the other part that we won't really cover so much today, but I think it's important to have hooks to entice the Facebook lead to come out and meet you, okay? Because that is always the number one challenge. A lot of Facebook leads will say, oh, Dominic, this is interesting. Can you send me the information? Can you send me the PDF? Can you send me the new launch or whatsoever? I will take a look, and if I'm interested, I will reach out to you, okay? That is a very common objection that we need to overcome, because otherwise, they will just get the info and they will just run away. Okay, my personalization is I combine my professional and personal together. So I don't have a separation. They can see who I am. If they don't like what they see, then it's okay. They will self-select, right? Okay, in terms of personalization, mine is more of my strategy. So if you're going to search my ads and all that, right, I call it a fast-track property strategy. And my hook, which is linked to it, is that I have this method of helping people to fast-track their investment returns using property. Okay, again, this is not anything that we don't know. I think you all know how to look at investment returns from property, but what I learned from my marketing agency is the packaging is very important, because all of us are agents. So when you say, go capital appreciation, go for new launch, all that kind of thing, it doesn't sound very exciting to us. But if we package it in a way to the normal person on the street, they'll be like, actually that's quite interesting. How do you fast track your returns through property? Okay, so that is the way that I do it, and then I use it through a video. So instead of doing still images ads, I run it through video, so they can hear me, they can see me. It feels a little bit more personal. But of course, on your end, if you want to replicate that, you just need to think of what is that USP that you run, and you need a little bit more work to film and edit the video. In terms of hooks to you, later I'll share a little bit of how we hook them to come out. This part I would say is an art. There is some things that we can do, but I've learned over the years, and I'll share with you all some maybe shortcuts. Okay, so now let me share with you all the POV of an agent when it comes to digital marketing. This is the flow that I usually go through, so at least you all roughly know what happens. Okay, so this is our POV as an agent. Okay, so this is how we look at the leads. Then later we look into how the leads look at us, because we also must know what are they thinking. Okay, so from our POV, right, naturally it's very similar to our LP. You get the lead, you set an appointment, you go for the appointment, you get the viewing, and then it goes in. Okay, but the thing is, of course, a lot of times they get stuck here. You get the lead, but you can't set the appointment, and then behind that whole part gets very stuck. Okay, so these are the very common challenges that I face, and I think if you all run ads, you all will also face. The leads will MIA you. After you text them and all that, they will just MIA you. Okay, so remember that's the 60%. Just remember they are going to be like that. Okay. Then second thing is when you try to hook out for the appointment, some of them will say, why do I need to meet you? Send me your PDF. If you want a new launch angle, send me the brochure. right, I consider, then I want to meet you. Then number 3, if you ask them to come to show flag, okay, actually this one not so much a challenge because most of them they want to go show flag one. It's just whether they want to go with you or not, okay, or another agent. Then the last one, very common, send me the new launch thing, send me the floor plan, send me everything, let me consider, then I come back. That part, I believe this should cover most of the challenge that you all face, right? Are there any more challenge? I think most of the challenge is here. So let me share with you what I think can help, okay? So one of the things that I struggled in the past, right, is that I honestly got very demoralized here. When I was stuck for a very long time. I think those of you who run ads, you all get stuck for a very long time, and then you all think you are buying a lot of lousy leads, and then you think, might as well I go back to flyers again. I think some of you all will have that thing, but I had this mindset shift when I don't know where, I listened to some podcast or whatsoever. I forgot what it was already, but I really agree with it, right? And they call it a value first approach. Okay, so this one is a little bit more, I don't know what you call it, not so much real estate, but I really feel that you don't need all 100 leads to be your clients, because if all of them become your clients, you also cannot handle. You have no time. You have no time for all the LP, all the viewings and all. You just need a good 5 to 8 of them to engage you and say, Dominic, I want to work with you. Please help me with my asset progression, right? So I think believing in abundance helps because I became less anxious. Okay, I share with you very honestly. Last time when I first started, right, after I worked with the vendor, I got a lot of leads. But the challenge was that I was very kanchiong to meet them. It's like I became a bit desperate to meet them. I was like, yeah, you got to meet me, I got to share with you this strategy. We got to meet. When are you free? Next week? Not free next week? Okay, how about following week? Then after a while, it spiraled, right? I became very anxious. Then my time was being burnt up because I was having so many Zoom, and a lot of them are not even qualified, which is the worst thing. You spend a good 45 minutes with the lead, then you realize their sister is an agent, or you realize someone already selling their house, and basically the lead is not for you lah. Okay, so this part is a bit of mindset, which hopefully you all can absorb, which is I think really believe that God has abundance in store for you, and you don't need to get every single lead that comes in. You just need the leads who you resonate with, who appreciate you, and you can work with them lah. Yeah, okay. So I believe in a value first approach. It's not easy to do, but I believe that I think when we really put the client's interest at heart and we advise them, even if it might not materialize in a sale, I think it will come back to us in a good way. Okay. And so for me, right, okay, I don't really have like a super deck of how I consult. I'll share with you a little bit of how I do it. But I think the most important thing is to, at this stage, is actually to disqualify the leads. So disqualify the leads who are not right for you, who do not have the right budget, or who are just not at the right stage in their life. Okay? But don't end it on a bad note. It sounds like a relationship thing. Like even if the lead is not the right for you, right? Don't be like, it was a waste of my time. Or like come back to me after you MOP. Don't do that. I think they will come back and they will remember you and they will come back to you when the time is right. Just give them clarity, give first, advise them, and continue to follow up them later for the appointment. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to share with you guys is that how you bring your lead into your funnel, okay, is also how you need to follow up with them for the appointment. Okay, I don't know if it has been helpful so far when I draw this, right, is that when we run Facebook ads, or the way that I run, I talk about my fast track property thing, right? What is the hook that entices the client to want to meet me? It's because they want to find out what is this strategy. Do you all see what I mean? There is a question mark in their head that they can only answer when they meet me, which is why they need to meet me, okay? But if your hook in your ad is find out about the latest new launch at Bayshore or whatsoever, the question mark is what? I want to know the floor plan. I want to know the starting price. Can someone else fulfill that question for them? Can. Another agent can do it. Another agent who anyhow put the number can do it. So then, do you all see that it is not an exclusive listing anymore? They can go to any agent to answer the question. But when you frame up a framework or strategy as your IP, there is only one person, there's only one seller in the market, which is you. So no matter what, they have to come to me to find out. Okay, of course then I need to make sure I do it well lah. Okay, but you all can understand the analogy, right? It's an exclusive listing in a way. They must come through to you. Okay, so the way you lead them in the funnel, the way you engage them and set the appointment needs to flow from the way you even hook them into the funnel. So for me, when I talk about fast track property, the way I engage them must be speaking the lingo of fast track property. I cannot suddenly talk about HDB MOP or whatsoever. You all get what I mean? The lingo needs to match. Okay, so let me give you all some examples, right? So these are some examples examples of the scripts that I use when I talk to them. Yeah, just share. If you all want, you all can adapt them, you all can use your own. Okay, so when I text the clients on WhatsApp to set the appointment, treat it as a normal conversation, right? That is a back and forth, because every time they respond means that they are more interested. Then you can go on, right? So I ask them, hey, Mr. Client, may I know the top reason why you click on my ad? Is it because A, you're looking to buy a first property, B, you own a HDB that's MOP and looking to upgrade, or 3, looking to restructure my private property portfolio? So from this, right, I am in a sense trying to understand which area of the lead funnel that are they at. First timers, HDB upgraders, condo, private property owners, right? Which their mindset will be slightly different. Okay. Then one of the things that y'all can adapt also is how I use this text to hook them to come for Zoom appointment, right? So I say, hey, I hold Zoom, customized Zoom sessions to share about property portfolio and help them accelerate the blah blah. Would you like me to let you know when I have upcoming slots or something? So you see the framing is very different. It's not like I'm desperate to meet you. I'm telling you I have it. If you are free or if you are interested, let me know. I can text you some dates. Okay, but in reality, of course, any date that they put, you will make sure there's a Zoom lah. Okay, this is just how you frame it across so that it doesn't sound like you are desperate to meet. You're just saying, hey, we have these Zoom things. Let me know. We'll send you a thing. You can join up. Okay. Then okay, these are some other ways that you can also hook them to come up. So it really depends on what is your angle. It depends on what is the ad angle you have at the start, and then that is how you're going to meet them. Okay. So if I were to combine the POV of the agent, which is the top, and the POV of the buyer, which is the bottom, this is how it's stated. Okay. So very realistically, at every stage you will have drop-offs. 30 to 40% drop-off, very common. So here will be gao lah. Then after that, here will be one very big drop-off. Then after usually here is okay one. Usually if they agree to meet you, it's okay. And you keep texting them, hey, see you tomorrow at 9 PM. Remember, we have a Zoom, it's okay. Here another big drop-off. Then once they hear, then this part is your skill already. So the first three part I think is what digital marketing can help you. The later on part is real estate sales to help you already. Okay. So again, bear in mind, there's always going to be a drop-off at any point. Okay. And how to keep the client with you through the process is later on, I think what Emma is going to share. Okay, because that is very important. Don't let your funnel leak because you spend a lot of money to acquire the leads. Don't let your old leads that you didn't follow up become another agent's new leads. Yeah, okay. So how to keep them with you, I believe is in today's age, I think most buyers want this. They want to be educated and they want to be entertained. Okay, they want to be entertained. They want this thing, they call it edutainment. Okay, have you all seen this? I just took a screenshot. I think you all have seen most of them. You know, I was very shocked because recently my army friend contacted me to sell his house. So I met him and all that, right? Then I said, hey, how come y'all like very sure y'all confirm want to sell? You're very sure y'all confirm want to buy this few area development in Queenstown. Then he said, oh, I went for consultation with Huat Kueh. Then immediately I was like, oh, really? Then I asked him how much. Okay, but he never tell me lah. But the part that I was very shocked is that someone like him, who is not even a real estate agent, has so much authority, right? That my friend, who is, how do I say, rather well educated, you know, would pay, I think it's 5 figures, pay 5 figures for advisory, and then come and find me to sell the house. Okay, so the good thing is I don't even need to do financial calculation. I just go there, take listing, okay, take photo, we start to sell. But the thing is, I was shocked that he can charge for advisory 5 figures without doing any listing, any viewing. And I think he's coming to eat our pie lah. And then of course, Marcus La is also very active. Our own Alex Lim is also very active, and Kay is very active. I think YouTube, I think a lot of us are doing short form, but I really think 2026 and beyond, I think YouTube is very important because they want to be entertained, but they also want to be informed. And over 90 seconds on IG Reels, sometimes a bit hard to go in very deep. Yeah, okay. I also try lah, but I only got 8 subscribers. Please like and subscribe. My goal is to do more this year. So again, back to this, again, macro picture, right? I feel again, as a complement to digital marketing, you kind of need to go all in. So if you want to do ads and all that, I see a lot of people in our space, I think they also do YouTube because it's a complement. They click into your profile, they see your YouTube video, they watch the video, maybe not interested, they click out, but next time they'll remember you are Zai and you know how to analyze properly. So beyond the consultation, which is what I recommend, I think all of these things which are not new to us, I think we can leverage on them to form long form content, yeah, which is very helpful for that. Okay, now I want to talk about this is my second last slide. Hope it's useful so far. I want to share this part because I went for a sales training recently with a few people, and I feel that I call this the lost art of calling. Actually, it was cold calling, but I realized it's not really cold calling. Okay, I want to share this because back to this, right? At every stage, remember I was sharing with you that you will have drop-offs. Okay, every stage of drop-offs. One of the things that I feel is very important when it comes to digital marketing is the art of calling. Because at every stage, your drop-off drop-off is very high. In the past, I didn't really like to call, so I always WhatsApp. Like, hey, do you see my text? You might miss this. And then you try to follow up, and then you feel a bit sian also texting it, but you know you just gotta text it, right? So after I went for a sales training, then I realized it's actually very important to call every stage where there is a drop-off. At every stage, call the lead, okay? Of course, what to talk about is basically what you're texting them about. Okay, but I remember when I went for the sales training, right, by Shannon, she was sharing that calling is very powerful because they can hear your tonality. And I don't know if you all seen this diagram, they talk about how much communication is being conveyed. Like words is like 13%, then body language is like 50%, then tone is I think like 40+%. Actually, tonality is very high in building trust, okay? So along the way, right, whenever you have drop-offs, call them. I know calling is not exciting. I know calling is not something we look forward to, but I think calling is very critical. Yeah, and they know that you are serious because I bet you 99% of the people who run ads, they don't call the lead. So if you call it, you will be the special one, okay? So cold calling is good, okay, but the challenge is that the intent is not there because they did not give you consent to call. In a way, you probably bought the list from somewhere else, okay? So it's good, low cost per lead, but intent is not high, okay? Now, warm calling is a bit different. So warm calling is the unique thing you can do when you do digital marketing because you will quickly have a huge list of people who opted in. So when you call those lists, you actually have a legit reason to call them because they submitted the request to you. You get what I mean? No matter what, you can always tie it back to, hey, Mr. So-and-so, I saw you click on my ad, I haven't had a chance to meet you. May I understand what are you looking for today? Then you just continue the convo from there, okay? So that's the power of warm calling. Call people who have already clicked into your ads, okay? And the last part I wanted to, the last part I wanted to share is that this was, okay, I think most of you all have seen this before, right? Okay, I think some PG has probably beaten it to death. So but it's quite a useful 3-point asset progression thing that I usually share with the Zoom consultation, okay? The purpose of it is that it's nice to have a framework to see how it pieces together, and it's also good to understand which stage of the property asset progression the client is in and what they should be doing. Are they at the property wealth creation stage where, you know, new launches, capital appreciation makes sense, or are they more at the preservation stage where they're looking more at rental yield and all that? So this is what I usually pitch when I go onto the Zoom, okay? It is a jumping platform, so you just start with it, share with it so they understand you know what you're doing, and later on, the art is to ask them active questions to let them answer you in terms of what they need. Then you can take the consult from there, which will bring you to Donovan's part. Yeah, okay? So hopefully this has been helpful. This is the end of my segment today. It is a 101, so again, it's not so much teaching you how to launch a campaign, how to write sales angle, but it's more of the workflow, the mindset, so that when you all do your own ads, which I believe most of you would, you all know what to expect. And last thing is, don't be disheartened. I only had my first closing maybe like 4-5 months down. It might take shorter for you if you're lucky, it might take longer, but I really believe digital marketing is a growing trend which more of us should be on, and I wish all of you all the best in your digital marketing journey. Thank you.